Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. We're super excited to have you guys here today. Q&A, man, I'm stoked. We have so many people then reaching out to us, talking to us. And I mean, we have people trying to get on our calendars every day to like learn stuff or shoot you a DM saying, hey, what about this? What about that? This is the perfect opportunity for you guys to ask real questions, hop on, talk real quick. But first, let's start off. What is Deal Champs? Our mission at Deal Champs is to empower our listeners with actual highlights and real deals from people across the country. We will also be doing some interviews with some amazing people and then with some amazing entrepreneurs, real estate investors, that whole shebang. We want to provide actionable insights is the big thing. Like stuff that you can take away and then go implement. Like I remember one of our first episodes is like, hey, here's how you're going to go get a line of credit so you can go do more flips. Like, and that was something someone could go take right now, implement in their business instantly. My name is Stratton Brown. I am originally from Bluffdale, Utah. I got started working for another investor, ended up running his company, played college football, didn't have any life skills whatsoever. From there, I ended up starting my own company. From now at this point, we have a 7-figure real estate portfolio, a 7-figure business, and we show people how to do their first deal wholesaling. But we have the master of hair, Mr. Jason Pritchard.
Give us a master of hair. I love it. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is Jason Pritchard. Backstory on me. I started in real estate full-time in 2014. Before that, I spent 15 years in corporate America just grinding it out, trying to climb the corporate ladder. And I know one of the things that I'm really passionate about and that the three of us collectively are passionate about are taking the skills that we've learned over the last 8 to 10 years of our career in the real estate business and transferring them to as many of you guys as possible. So this is going to be a really cool podcast because we really get to interact with you guys. We want you guys to jump in the chat, drop some questions, and we want to give a few of you the chance to hop on to the show live to discuss with us. I just saw on the title, this is episode 14. I'm proud of us, boys.
Bro, I'm proud of us.
14. I love it.
All right. And then we have Mr. Captain America, Dean Rogers.
What's up, everybody? I'm your other co-host. My voice sounds like trash today. My kids with the stuffy noses finally got me. But I'm hanging in there. My story is I transitioned from the NFL to corporate to real estate and been investing in real estate ever since then for about a decade now in Central California. I've done just under 600 deals to this point. I got a rental portfolio that's approximately $10 million. And now I'm coaching students how to get started in real estate, how to build out their businesses step by step. So you can connect with me at deanrogers.com.
All right. Real quick, if you are listening to this on the podcast app, and it will be on the podcast app eventually, go give us a 5-star review. If you are watching this on YouTube, go hit that like and subscribe button down there. Don't forget to go follow all three of us on social media. Me, Mr. Stratton Brown, Strat Daddy, Mr. Jason Pritchard, the Master of Hair, and Captain America, Dean Rogers Real Estate. And then where do they submit their deals? Do you know?
Submit their deals, guys. We love to highlight people on this podcast. That's part of why we named it Deal Champs. So if you guys go to deanrogers.com/podcast, it'll take you straight to a Google form, fill out all your information, details about the deal. These are deals that you've closed, money in the bank. Ideally, they got a cool story. So we can share about how you overcame something, what were the interesting parts about the deal, how you made a bunch of money, whatever it is, we'd love to highlight you on the podcast.
Oh, StreamYard / Facebook for them to interact with us so we can see who they are.
Yeah, we love to see who's commenting, who's got questions, especially today. If you guys didn't get the hint already, today's episode, we have a good amount of people on already, is about Q&A. So we're up here talking all the time, guys. You guys are listening in, participating through questions, but we want to get people on the show today live. So if you're watching this, not only do we want to hear where you're coming from, but if you have a question, we want you to raise your hand and say, yo, I got a cool question or something I want to talk about. We'll have you jump on for 5 minutes. We'll send you the link and we'll have you guys on live on the podcast. So for those of you right now that are watching it, go ahead, let us know where you're from. And if you guys have a question, let us know. Say, hey, I got something, would love to jump on, and we'll throw you guys on right now.
And then real quick, biggest announcement of the day. Our big event, Recession Domination, is on May 13th. We're almost sold out. Super stoked about it. We're going to have Carlos Reyes, Michael Zuber, Nicole Espinoza, us three, Mr. Pat Hilton emceeing the whole thing. It's going to be electric. I'm super stoked. We're going to have some open Q&A at the end, and that's one thing that'll be really, really good. And then obviously we're going to cover how to dominate during the recession, and the recession is happening now, and it's going to be going on for the next probably 18 months.
There also might be a special guest. It's still like right on the fence, man. Like we're like flirting with this other person who's, everybody knows, won't say the name yet, but we're trying to get them across the finish line. And that could be a nice surprise right at the end.
And where can they get their tickets, Dino?
Yeah, so you guys can go to deanrogers.com/event. It'll take you to an event create website where you guys will see all the event details, and you guys can purchase your tickets. We do have a special going right now for general admission where you get 50% off your tickets. So if you use the coupon code on checkout, SALE49, you guys can get half off of general admission. But like Stratton said, this is going to be a packed house. It's probably going to turn into, the standing room only type of deal. There might be extra overflow. I don't know. But guys, these type of events are where your life can literally change. It can change trajectories. If you're on the edge of your seat, you're wondering what's next, when you're going to have your breakthrough, is going to events like this is when the breakthroughs happen. You get that one piece of information. You meet that one person that changes your life. You've got to be in these rooms because that's when those moments happen. They don't happen sitting at home, watching Netflix, eating Cheetos. It doesn't happen there. Okay. So if you're on the edge of your seat and you've been thinking about going to this event, we've got that discount code, SALE49. If that's a challenge for you, if you can't afford $49, reach out to us. We'll get you in there. Don't worry. Okay. We want to see you guys at this event. It can literally change your life, and there should be nothing holding you back. So if you're watching this live, if you're watching this on replay, make sure you're at that event and do whatever you can to be there.
While we wait for some people to pop in, I have some topics for us to cover until someone shoots us a question.
Yeah, we got people watching live right now, by the way. Don't be shy. We know a lot of people that are on these end up asking questions throughout. If you guys have something you want to talk about, if you guys have a question that's on your mind you want help with, make sure you raise your hand and say you want to jump on. We'll send you a link and we'll get you on live on the show. Someone said they're just joining. What event are we referring to? We're talking about the big event in Fresno, California called Recession Domination. We've got Carlos Reyes as a headline speaker, Nicole Espinoza, Jason, myself, Stratton, Michael Zuber all hosting it. We got Pat Hilton as the MC. It's a can't miss event for whoever commented on that. You can go to deanrogers.com/event to get all the details.
All right. While we wait, last night, Ian sent me an image saying, Strat, isn't this deal that you were working on for the last 6 months? And a wholesaler sent it out in a Facebook group. And I had a panic attack and I almost cried because it'd be like one of the biggest deals in my life. And so I picked up the phone and I called the seller like 7 a.m. I was like, hey, did you sell this thing? And the answer was no. But the key to that is follow up with your leads. Because I talked to the dude that same day. And it made me think like, oh, wow, where could I have been more aggressive to get this thing like done right now? And so I'm driving out to Nevada on Sunday to go honestly get that thing locked up.
Urgency.
Urgency.
That created some urgency right there. Here's a one right here that got my interest. You guys see this? Just purchase a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,500 square foot home on an acre with a pool for $150 today. Holy smokes, for $550. Whoever this is, say yes.
Hop on. I want to ask you some questions about that. Yeah. Hop on this one so we can talk about this deal. That sounds like a monster deal, man.
Whoever that is, let us know. We'll send you the link. Let me check the Facebook chats over here.
Get
Oh, I know who this is. I could text
Who
this
is it?
person right now. I'm gonna text him on the side. Brian. Let me text him. Want to jump on the podcast?
Do you know has Hex hit yet, bro? Has Pulse Chain hit? Am I gonna
Okay.
be a billionaire yet?
Dude, we're getting close. Short answer is we're getting close. By the way, that guy said sure he'll jump on. So let me text him the link. Jump on in. I'll start
What'd
talking
you do
about
with
it.
your storage thing, Strat?
Which one?
The one that you were talking about. What ended up happening
Bro,
with it?
I called him this morning and I said, hey, don't sell this thing. I was like, I will be there Sunday.
So they were talking to somebody else, and they were pre-shopping it, type of thing.
Yeah, so the wholesaler was pre-shopping it
Yeah, I
at
get
like
it.
Yeah,
$200,000 over what I was gonna buy it for.
Yeah.
And so I'm
And
just
Ian
gonna.
knew about it, huh? That's a good friend right there.
He was like, because I didn't even tell Ian where it was. He was just like, he saw like the picture of it. He was like, Strat, I know this is the one you were telling me about, bro. He was like, did they sell this? Like, where did you mess up?
Wow. Good looking out.
Right? That's a great friend.
Yeah.
That's a great friend. But I want to hear more about Hex while we wait for this dude. We gotta
Okay.
bide some time.
So
Jason, did you sacrifice real quick though? Did you make any sacrifices, Jason?
No.
dude.
I'm
Bro,
focused
gonna
on real
retire.
estate.
I'm
right
gonna
now, guys.
retire in a month.
I've
You,
earned enough on e-commerce stores and crypto in 2021 and
Yeah.
2022. I feel like I'm just going to focus on real estate. That's what I'm good at making money at, and that's what I'm going to focus on. So for me,
I'm about to
2023
say you
is the
were in
year
there,
of
man.
just
You were saying,
laser
"Oh yeah,
focus.
I'm
was.
getting these returns." Yeah, you were in there.
The e-commerce stores fucking decimated us.
Yeah.
We got Ian. Let me text. Ian said he's here. Let me text Ian.
1 minute and get into one more group. But with the pulse sacrifice, for you guys who don't know, essentially, this dude is either the biggest scam artist ever, or he's the smartest man in the world. I haven't decided yet.
Hey, he's made a lot of people lots of money.
But he got I think it was it $1 billion sacrificed? Something crazy.
It was over $1 billion.
So this dude got $1 billion sent to a private wallet. Everybody had to check a box saying that it was a donation, and it wasn't anything. And this was a year and a half ago.
It's been that long.
With the promise of, hey, it'll start off at 0.001%. If you get in right here, you get X amount. If it goes to a cent, you're gonna make however much money.
That's like 1,000.
I hope you
X,
guys become billionaires and I ride the wave. Yeah, I don't know.
If it gets to
Yeah.
1 penny, it's
too
1,000
complicated
X.
for me.
Bro, if it gets to one
Yeah.
penny, I'm retiring.
I know.
I've talked
the
to like
numbers-
4 people about this same thing.
The numbers get crazy, but short to answer your question, the Pulse Chain Network, which is the same thing as a Bitcoin network, as Ethereum network, as Cardano network, is about to go live like in a matter of days. So
I'm dumping, dude. I'm dumping as soon as it comes out. Then I'll buy back
Are you?
in later.
all right,
yeah,
we got
bro.
Brian here. Let me add in Brian. Brian, what's up, brother?
There he is.
Just leaving the gym, trying to lose some weight.
What's up, brother? Hey, you caught our interest, man. You dropped this thing right here. It said just purchased a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,500 square foot house on an acre with a pool today for $150,000. Resale $550. Tell us, man.
Yeah.
Where'd you find this? Where'd you find this honey hole?
And the trick is never throw out the first offer.
Hey, that's a nugget right there. You guys hear that? That was
It
probably
is.
some gold. Never throw out the first number. So
Yeah, because I thought she was gonna probably want 250, 260. Resale's about 550, and she threw out an offer of 150. So
Yeah.
I mean, it does have some squatters in there. long story short, but
I got a guy for that.
yeah, you sold me a couple of those houses. I've dealt with those squatters.
No, I'm saying you must have not been seeing my social media. We got a story where we got some squatters right now. They're like in and out of jail, and one of the guy's friends was like, "Give me $100 and I'll go knock everybody's face in and make sure that place is vacant tonight."
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to know an agent that she would hire a big dude to pretty much do the same thing, knock on the door, and he wouldn't leave until they left. But yeah, long story short, though, it was a family that had the house, original owners. Like I said, 3,500 square foot on an acre with a pool, RV parking, a little bit of everything. And she hired a lady to stay in the house to take care of the dad, and paid her $1,000 a month to help take care of the dad while they moved away. Long story short, dad passed away, and the lady ended up moving a friend in. The friend and the family friend were getting in an argument, so the lady moved out. So, the little drug lady, little tweaker lady was staying in there, invited a couple more friends, and ended up just, taking over the house.
Yeah.
And
how it goes.
yeah, so one of the main reason, obviously you got to find the seller's motivation. So I knew the motivation was she rented the house or let the lady stay in there with all their belongings in there because it was a family friend. So now these tweakers are living in the house with all their filing cabinets, tax returns, everything. So she's just really scared of that and doesn't want to deal with the eviction and see him in public. So, me to help her, I said, hey, when I buy the house, if you decide to sell it to me, I'll guarantee you, as soon as I gain possession of it, you and your mom could come in through the house and go through all the belongings and take whatever you guys want. And that was one of the main things that sealed the deal, is just somebody would actually take the time and let them come in and go through all their belongings and get what they want.
You know what's really cool about that, Brian, is that it's always these kind of weird, like off the wall type of things, right? That usually are the make or break. So many times investors make it about the price or this or that or whatever. And it was just important for them that they could go back and get their documents. And you realize that, you picked up on that. You made sure that that was a priority. And I think that sounded like a big reason why you got that deal done, dude. That's freaking cool, man.
Yeah, and all you got to do is talk to a seller for 5 minutes, and you just find out their motivation. It could be anything. Sick family, they want to move. They don't ever want to see the house again, bad memories, but they all have a motivation.
Yep. So tell me, man, what's the numbers going to look like on this deal? We know the purchase price. We know the potential.
Well, every house
price.
Always flip. Yeah, every house always flip. I look worst scenario, especially this one because I haven't seen the inside, but I kind of know people that know them. So yeah, they might be on drugs, but I don't think they're tearing the sheetrock out still not that bad. So, but I do worst case scenario, and so I'm thinking $100,000 to put into it.
Okay.
Because I look at it as it needs a whole new roof. A house that big probably has 2 air conditioners. All new flooring, new cabinets, new pretty much a whole flip. And I get stuff pretty good prices. So I'm thinking $100,000. Hopefully I go in there and get it 70 in repairs. But even if I'm at 150 and say worst case scenario I put 100 into it, I'm only in it for 250 minus agent commission. I'm an agent, so I don't pay my own commission. I just pay the 2.5% for the other agent.
Yeah.
So that saves me on that also.
I'm gonna do some quick math on this. So if you got a 550 ARV, you put 100 into it. I usually like to estimate 10% for selling costs, realtor fees, closing costs, holding costs, and just miscellaneous repairs at closing. So you got $55,000 for that. You're at $395. You minus the 150 purchase, dude. You might make $250,000 on this deal. It says 245.
Dang. This is a great one. Usually my averages are, on my flips are 30 to 50,
Yeah.
But yeah,
where'd you find it?
You gotta, yeah.
You're at the gym trying to shake
I was just
off
gonna
those
say,
nerves.
dude, Yeah, dude, you got to do those small ones too. I feel like you get the momentum from doing those small ones and you hit some base hits and some doubles. And then every once in a while, one of these grand slams pops up, dude. And it's just kind of falls in your lap. You know what I mean? And it's all the work that you did prior to that to get you there.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up.
You there? Oh, yeah. I bought one in Hanford, 175, and it's not even taking a month, and it's almost finished, and I only have 25 into it, and resales 275.
Yeah, it's a solid one right there. Make about 50 on that one.
Yeah, and it was a quick, 1 month turnaround. Wasn't destroyed. I didn't have to deal with any tenants.
Sound good to me. Well,
Brian,
cool, man.
where'd you find this
Hey,
deal?
I'm gonna let you go. I gotta. Which one?
The big one, the quarter M.
Oh, honestly, just because I know so many people. I've been doing it a long time, and the lady that actually owned the house was a judge. Her daughter's a lawyer, and they kind of knew some people that I knew, or no, they were actually talking about how can they sell the house when they have tenants in it, and they couldn't get them out. They were kind of scared of the tenants because there's gang related, whatever. And both people, she ended up talking to two different people, and both of those people said, Brian will buy it because I'll buy anything.
There you go, right there.
Yeah, so it just kind of worked out. She talked to one person, and being a lawyer, they don't believe the first thing they hear. And she ended up talking to another friend, and both of them said my name. So it just kind of worked out real easy on that one. I didn't even have to put the effort in. But same thing, I'll it actually closed today. So one of the ladies that I sold her a house, and she's the one that gave her my name. So I'll go give her little money, you know what I mean, for just helping out.
Yeah.
So
take care of the
people. I always try to take care of everybody, It's just and she won't want any money, but it's just, hey, go take the family out, go do something, I appreciate it.
Yep. Well, congrats, man. We'll let you go, but thanks for jumping on real quick, and we'll definitely have to catch up more later.
Hey, you guys are doing good. I like watching the show. Keep it going.
All right, man.
You're the man.
We'll
good job, Brian.
Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya. Man, what a deal.
Bro.
200K. Jeez, out here on one. Yeah, that's good, dude. Yeah.
Bro.
I'm spending 150 for little small junk houses in the hood, dude. For him to get an acre, 3,500 square feet with a pool for 150, that definitely sounds like
bed,
you got a great deal on that one. Yeah,
Bro, that's
wild.
good for him. Yeah, good for him. That's awesome.
Did Ian respond?
He said he's doing daddy duty bedtime right now, so
it is bedtime for them though. It's like 8:30 for him.
Yeah, he's on the East Coast.
Man, what questions you guys got, man? We got a handful of people in.
Yeah. Feel free to drop questions, guys, in the chat. Anybody brave enough want to jump on and pick our brains, now's a great opportunity to do it. But yeah, drop any questions that you have. This is Q&A for you guys, so we can go through all these things and get you guys answers.
Man, my biggest wholesale deal is only like 60 grand.
That's a good size wholesale deal.
Yeah, especially out here.
My biggest one was like 60 grand. What's your guys' biggest deals as we're buying time?
I mean, Jason's got the biggest here because of that insane deal. That one takes the cake.
Yeah, that monster one, the Pebble Beach one. Yeah, the Pebble Beach one.
Bro,
it was like 900,000. Yeah, dude, that was a monster one.
Damn.
Wholesale for us, the biggest one was 118,000. That was the biggest assignment that we had on one, and that was it. It was an 8-unit building, so when you look at it per unit, it makes it a little bit more reasonable. You know what I mean? But typically on some of those larger multifamilies, you can find bigger spreads on it. But 118 on one assignment was the biggest that we've done. 100 was the biggest that I've paid to another investor.
And that one was still a deal, wasn't it? Do you still have that?
I still own it. It was from Matt. I don't know. I've seen Matt G doing some more stuff right now. I bought it from Matt, and I still own all those properties, and it ended up working out great for me. So yeah, at the time it was like, damn, 100 grand, but glad that I did it. Worked out well.
That's hard to think about. Like, goddamn, 100 grand.
I know. you can't help but think about it a little bit. Like, even though your number at the end of the day, like your number at the end of the day is the number that you analyzed the deal, said yes to move forward. But like when you see that, you're like, oh, what the heck? Like,
anytime I buy a deal on assignment, I always am just curious to see what the fee is going to be.
Yeah,
you know
like what did you do?
Yeah, I'm just like, what did they get me for on this one? Because I'm just curious. I don't ever have a problem with it. I never go back and try to retrade. I don't have any whatever the fee is, but I'm always like, I'm always just curious to see what it is. And there's a little pinch when it's a massive assignment fee that you feel, dude, when you see it come in.
Yeah.
Right.
We got a question here. I have to personally jump off, so I'm gonna fade to the background. There's a question here. You guys should bring someone on. My biggest wholesale deal that I did was a JV deal, was $110,000. That was a straight wholesale deal. The biggest wholesale deal was 148. The biggest wholesale deal with nobody else was 100, a flat 100, which we just recently closed.
Me and you did like an 80K one, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
did like
wholesale
an 80K
that one too. Yeah. It was like 85 grand or something like that. And we closed that one. If I remember correctly, I think we closed that one in like 24 to 48 hours. Like, we closed that one fast.
Yeah.
That was cool.
You got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to bow out, but you guys jump on these questions and I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right,
Dean. Throw those questions up, Strat. Yeah, let's see
you guys soon.
Yep.
All right, what do we got? Well, here's a question. I deal with a lot of private lenders, but I have a house coming up in Gilroy that somebody started to remodel and did not finish. Purchase price 1.7, resell 3.5. God damn. Only needs about 150K in repairs that I can handle. I just don't have a private lender with that much capital. Any ideas?
So here's how I would structure this. I mean, I'm not super familiar with the Gilroy market, but 1.7 seems like a big number for over there, but that's not my home base, so it could be right on. So here's how I would structure it for the person that would ask. This is a typical problem with private lenders because I work with mainly private lenders to fund my deals. And a lot of times you're not going to find one person that's got 2 million liquid just there ready to put into one deal. So I would probably go to a hard money lender like Kiavi or a more institutional lender that funds these types of deals. Kiavi is probably the one that I would recommend because I know they lend in some of these more expensive markets. I would put them in first position, right? For, let's call it 1.4, 1.5. And now you have a variance of about 300,000 or 400,000 that you need to make up. You go to your private money lender that you typically would go borrow 400 or 500 from to do a smaller size deal in this same market, and maybe offer them a little bit more of attractive return to be in second position. I think that's how I would structure it. So so you have to be very clear when you're doing it that way. When you go to the private lender, whoever is going in second position, you have to be clear about them being junior to whoever the first position lender is. They need to understand what those risks are. Typically, I will offer a little bit more of an aggressive return for that person just in exchange for the risk that they're going to take on for that. But if your numbers are right, I mean, you still have a huge spread. 1.7 million buy, 150 in repairs. It's worth 3. I mean, you're in it for like 60% of the resale value at that point. So even with 2 lenders in there, you don't have that much exposure. So that's how I would structure it. Good question, though.
Yeah, that's a great question. One thing that it surprises me, I was talking to Burns today, Jason. Bro, he does like 4 points on some stuff. He does like 4 points and like 16% on second position loans.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean, some states you can get away with doing that. I know here you can't, but it's like, I mean, I talk to some people in masterminds that I'm in, and just, we talk to a lot of people that are all over the country in different markets. And I mean, some of the stuff that these lenders get paid on, you make more money just lending than you do actually doing the deal and owning it, dude. So
that's what he was saying. He's like, bro, I'm making a lot of money lending. Like,
I believe it.
A lot less work.
I believe it. Yep.
All right. What's the best way to get started on an investment journey when you're just starting out? The big thing for me is, what is your previous skill set, and like what is something that is your unique ability or that you're good at? Like if you're generally good at talking to people, that's one thing. if you're making a lot of money, like I have solar dudes come to me and tell me they want to get into wholesale, but they're making $500,000 a year doing solar.
Yeah.
I bet, bro,
Yep.
there's no need for you to get into wholesaling. Like you should start buying stuff.
Yep.
Like 100%. And
I agree.
so whatever your name is, if you could drop what your background is, I think we would love to talk to you more about like what is your actual pedigree so we can see what's going on.
I think if you are not coming from, let's say, a W-2 or a business or like a solar background where you have the opportunity to make really good money just within that business. And for me, this was my position, right? I was in corporate America and I was making decent money, but I was spending all the money that I was making, right? And so I didn't really have great financial habits. So I really did need to earn more income, even though I made okay money at that time. So for me, I got into the business flipping and wholesaling, and that became the engine that then drove my ability to scale my rental portfolio, right? So the way I started out was just finding deals. And that's what I tell everybody. If you are getting started, the best way to get started is learn how to find deals, guys. I think if you can get good at consistently generating leads, and then you get good at developing your interpersonal communication skills, your sales and your negotiation skills, and you can get good at putting those deals in contract at a price where the deals and the numbers make sense, you can then make a lot of money flipping, wholesaling, and then start cherry picking the deals that you want to keep as rental properties. But if you can create deal flow at the beginning, that's a really good way to get started. So I would focus on finding deals.
And bang the phones at the beginning. This is something that,
Yeah,
as we've started to coach people, a lot of people have, what is the word? Phone neglect? Phone something where like they're afraid of the phone.
they're just
Like, they're
scared.
afraid of the phone.
That's it.
They're scared. Like we
I'm
got to get
dealing with
on
that
that
now, dude.
phone and like you got to get on it and just get your face kicked in and it'll be the best thing for
Yep.
you. Because as you enter this space, you're always going to be talking to someone no matter what, whether it's contractors, agents, sellers, lenders. Like interpersonal skills are the number one thing that's going to make you money in this business.
Yep. And to talk on your point, just to add, and then we'll put a bow on this, Stratton. Like my skill set prior to getting into real estate was that I was in a sales and sales management environment for a long time prior to jumping in. So I knew the value of getting on the phone. So I've always been a big proponent. Like if you work in a commission-based business and you're used to selling, whether that's business to business, you're selling software, selling cars, selling whatever, right? You already have like the foundational skill sets to do really well in this business. Then you've got to learn the language of real estate. You've got to understand how to take a deal from A to Z and see that through. And that just comes with practice. But you're getting a big head start by coming with those skill sets. So I agree.
Yes.
Let's figure out what you're already good at. Let's leverage that and try to go after some low-hanging fruit instead of just recreating the wheel.
All right, let's here's their background. Background is admin, advertising, sales, event planning, new real estate agent. Background admin, advertising, sales, event planning, new agent. I mean, if you're a new agent, then 100% I think it's the interpersonal communication skills and social media.
Yeah.
Social media is going to
Yep.
be huge for you. All right.
It looks like you've done some advertising sales, so leverage that experience. You know what I mean? And just like Strat said, don't be afraid to get on the phone. So much of this business starts initially on the phone and then becomes an in-person face-to-face interaction. But if you can't get good at making connections over the phone, that in-person interaction typically is not going to come. So you've got to get past that hump first and then get good at in-person appointments to get them.
All right. Been wondering if wholesaling in California is worth time considering state overheard, LLC costs, taxes, insurance, etc. Considering opportunity cost of working landlord-friendly markets instead. Depending on the, I don't even think you need an LLC to get started, bro. I didn't have one. It was on a Sharpie with my name.
Yeah.
Or you could go do it for someone else. Like when I did stuff for Alan, like I didn't have an LLC. And you really don't need one. It's you and another person. Like, I want to buy the house.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
dude,
matters.
let me-
They're not going to ask you for your website.
Let me chime in really quick, dude, Jesse, because I feel like we hear a lot of people. There's definitely some negatives of investing in California. I get it that the landlord laws are not skewed or favorable to landlords and property owners. I get that I get all of that stuff, dude. But we all invest in California on this show and we do pretty well, dude. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think if Fresno is your backyard, right? I would instead, this is a mindset shift that I would recommend that you have, Jesse. Instead of start thinking of all the reasons why you're going to have problems getting started in California and look for maybe something else, let's look at all the reasons why it's probably easier for you to get started wholesaling or investing here, right? You know the area. You can go meet the sellers in person. You're going to have familiarity with the neighborhoods, right? When somebody says, hey, I've got the house on this street, you're already going to kind of know some of that stuff. You've got connections that you can tap into here. All of that stuff you don't have when you go pick some random market in the Midwest or the South, dude. So I definitely think that there's pros and cons of investing in any market, not just in California. And so I would say focus on the things that are working in your favor and stack those up versus maybe the potential cons, and then look at, where you end up after that.
Well, and the big thing with if this is the market you're from, I'm so big on people being on social, bro. That I just forgot his name. Who's the guy we just brought on?
Brian.
Brian. That came from his network of just people, right? Like you have a network of people who have properties that they could sell, and they just need to know what you do, and they're going to bring you deal flow.
Yep.
Right. When you're going into a brand new market, you don't have any of that momentum, any of that leverage, or going and talking to your friends like, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you know of anybody who has these type of situations, just have them reach out to me. Like you don't have any of that when you go out of state, and that's free, bro. The network is
and Jesse,
free.
We have like a really solid community of people here. It says you're in Fresno, so there's a really, really good solid community of like-minded investors that are willing to help you and share resources. And we give away basically every single tool that you need to be successful for free through our Facebook group and all the different things that we're offering, right? So not all markets are like that either, man. So I think I would suggest, tapping in. I don't know that we've ever met in person. I don't know that you've been to some of our events, man, but come to some of the free meetups, reach out to one of us, dude. And if you're struggling with certain things, feel free to reach out, dude. We're happy to help you.
And bang the phones and don't get an LLC.
Yep.
Do not get an LLC.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Yep.
All right. Thank you for the reply. Of course. Thank you for asking your question. Is PropStream your go-to for deals? And so to elaborate on this, PropStream is where we pull all of our data. If you want like really, really niche data, your county recorder's office is going to have the best data, right? So if you go to Fresno County Recorders, you can get code violations, public nuisance violations, tax liens. I still need to get with Jason on how to figure out where to pull the probates. You can get the pre-foreclosures. You can get all of that on your county recorder.
You get everything. Yeah.
And then
you can get houses
you're
that have the water been shut off. That's
Yep.
another list. That's another kind of niche list that we've been hitting recently. Water shut off lists. We just
Utility
request
liens.
from all the cities and counties. Yeah. Which houses have utilities shut off, right? Because imagine if the water's been shut off or they've got 6 or 7 months worth of payments that haven't been paid, probably nobody's living there. Or if they are living there, they're probably not living there and paying, right? So that could be a pain point. So yeah, lots of good things. We use Property Radar. I actually prefer PropStream is great. We have subscriptions to both, but I think mainly because I started with Property Radar when I got in the business, I have a sense of familiarity, and we built out all of our lists over there. And they're very, very comparable tools. Both of them are great tools. So I think it has more to do with a personal preference for the person that asked this question. I would say get on, try maybe like a free trial of both, see which one you like as far as the interface, which one maybe clicks and vibes with you more. I think either of those options are really good ones for not just finding lists, but it's what you need to run comps. If you're not, an agent and you don't have MLS access at the beginning, so you need to understand how to pull comps. You need to understand how to get in contact with cash buyers if you're looking to wholesale. So this is a very robust tool that you can use, not just for finding deals, but for deal analysis and developing relationships with buyers.
Your entire business will be based on PropStream or Property Radar. Like that $100 app will be like the backbone.
Huge
thing.
Part. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Any other questions, guys? Man, I love this shit.
Yeah, I do too, actually. Feel free to drop your guys' questions in the chat. And if you guys want to jump on, we can jump on and talk too. But if you just got a one-off question, drop it in the chat. We're happy to answer it while we're on here.
What's going on, Ian? We got my man Juan Bustamante.
What's
going on, Juan? Mika, what's going on, my man? Is Privy any good? I have not used it.
I
It
haven't
sounds
either,
like
actually.
you have looked into the Jamil Damji and Pace Morby realm, because I know Jamil is huge with Privy. If
Yep.
they do it and you follow what they do, you will make money. The big thing is everybody tries to go add their own little like twist or flavor to whatever is going on. If you follow the blueprint that they give, you will make
Yep.
money. You
That's
just
it.
don't, you just can't change things. Like you can't be like, well, I only
Yeah.
did X amount of outreach. Oh, well, I want to do this instead because this little part was hard. 100% hop on those videos, do exactly what they say, and it will work.
Yep.
There's thousands of people across the country doing it.
Yeah. I think don't overanalyze this, guys. If this is the same person that asked the question about prop stream, right? Don't get too much in your head about whether this or it's this or that, because all that is preventing you from taking action. Because each one of those things are going to have their own pros and cons. They're also going to have their own learning curve. So if you jump on one and then you get back and forth, and then you see a video from Pacer Jamil and they're talking about Privy, then you jump to Privy. You spent all of this time bouncing from platform to platform, and we lost 30, 45, 60 days that you could have just been on the phone. So what I would suggest, pick one, get married to it, put some blinders on and just stay focused, pull a list, pick up the phone and call for that 60 days instead of jumping from system to system. I think you will get much further, and the results that you will want and the outcomes you want will happen much sooner by doing it that way. I personally have never used Privy, so I can't speak to it, but I think just based on the stuff that I've heard, it sounds like it's got some potential.
How are you finding fire damaged houses? Honestly, that's not like a big niche of mine. I would say I had a fire damaged house, and that's how I
For
found it.
us,
I've never bought one.
You just go to the city or county that you live in, go to the fire department, and all of that stuff is a matter of public record. So I don't know the frequency that my virtual assistant pulls the new fire, but every time a house catches fire in the city of Fresno, right? Fire department goes out there. There is a fire report that has to be generated for that property, right? And it ends up going on a list of all the other properties that have sustained fire damage. And that list is a matter of public record. So you can very easily like call yourself and just say, hey, I'm looking to get, any of the properties that have active fire reports on them, and just start building out your database. Or you could train a virtual assistant to do that. And some of our best deals ever, not just from profitability, but the efficiency, thinking about the amount of, the ease of how easy it is, have been fire damage properties, man. I don't know why, but there's a big appetite in our market for people that love fire damage properties. I mean, I look at these houses and there's no way that I can make the numbers work, but there's a lot of people out there that like them. And we just did a deal 2 weeks ago, dude, that we bought, paid $120 for it. We spent $4,000 cleaning it out. We sold it 2 weeks later for $230 in the same condition that we bought it in, minus cleaning it out. We made just under $100,000 in 2 weeks, dude, with doing nothing. I literally went there one time. I went there one time to see it, and then one more time to shoot a video, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. So lots of potential with fire damage property. The thing to remember, guys, when you're buying those is I try to lock them up as close to the land value as I possibly can. So if you're struggling to figure out your price, most new investors underestimate the cost of what it's going to cost to actually rehab it, because you've got to go pay a draftsman or hire an architect to draw up plans. That's going to be $5,000 to $7,000. Then you've got to get those plans over to the city or county and go through plan check. That's going to take 3 to 6 months, depending on how backlogged that city office is. So you've got 6 months of additional holding time. In city of Fresno, depending on the extent of the fire damage, you've got to do sprinkler system throughout the property, right? So that's another $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, depending on the size, right? So all these things that you don't typically account for, right? When you're doing a normal flip, right? Abatement, asbestos, all these different things, that you need to account for that aren't just paint and carpet on your normal thing. It can really throw your numbers off. So I've always preferred, we've remodeled fire damage ones. They take forever. And I always prefer just getting it out of them quickly if we can.
Whoever this is, did we have Henry on last episode or 2 episodes ago?
No, Henry was when I was in Maui, so that was like a month and some change ago. But yeah, if you're in Fresno and you want to connect, if you guys want to connect with the guy, go watch that video.
Going on.
Yep.
On the whole fire damage stuff. Thank you for that, providing great value, fellas. Keep up the great solid work. Thank you, my man. this person, Property Radar, Data Stream, County Clerk, Privy, Prop Stream. That's a lot of softwares. Cut out Prop Stream. That one's redundant. Happy Taco Tuesday, Deal Champs.
Juan, thanks for all the
my
support,
man.
bro. He shows up to everything, man. I love Juan.
Right, bro. Do you guys go live on YouTube as well? Do we have it streaming to the YouTube right now? We don't.
Who the hell knows?
You know,
we should
it's on
but we're just
it's on the
winging
list of
We're just
shit
winging
that
it
needs to
sometimes.
get done. It's on the list of shit that needs to get done. Do you guys have a specific buy box you like to flip or hold? I'll let you go, Jason. Then I'll.
It's
go
a good
over what
question.
I'm looking for.
So I had this conversation with somebody earlier today. I actually like this question a lot. So I think a lot of new investors, specifically new wholesalers, will send me deals, right? And they'll send me very marginal deals, and they'll say, "Oh, it'll make sense as a rental." And what they don't understand, and what I think a lot of people miss at the beginning, is that the stuff that I buy and I keep as rentals, those are the very best deals financially. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that I'm getting at the absolute cheapest prices, because in order to really make the numbers pencil, especially with rates the way that they are now, you got to get these things dirt cheap, dude, because I want to get them cheap. I want to fix everything, and I want to be able to rent it and refinance. And I don't want to, if I can help it, to leave any money stuck in the deal. So usually my rentals are my very best deals. Then if I can't make the numbers work as a rental, or it's like not a great area or whatever, and it's just easier to flip or wholesale, then I'll do that. But it's the opposite a lot of times from what a lot of people that send me deals, or a lot of new investors think. They think if, you know, you're getting it at 75 or 80 cents on the dollar, well, we'll just keep it as a rental. And it's always been the opposite approach for me.
Exactly. For us, the main thing I'm trying to buy is like self-storage facilities, and it's the same thing, right? Like I need to buy it cheap if it's going to be a cash deal. If it's creative, like we'll explore that, and that's a whole nother episode. If it's a house here, I'm looking for C class and above. I need to have less than a $25,000 entry fee, right? So that just means if I'm going and I'm going to buy it, and I have to go to an investor and be like, hey, let's go buy this house together, I want that $25,000 from the investor to come in, and then I still get a good yield on that money, right? If I have to go in, there was a house over here in Woodward Lakes that came up from my boy Richard, and it was going to cost me like $90,000 all in, and I was only going to make like $300 a month. I was like, bro,
I think I saw that one. What were they? Yeah. What was it, like 500 grand or something like that? Was this a recent one?
It was like, it was a recent one, and it was like $500 something thousand. And like, I didn't care about the purchase price, but I was like, well, we got a $25,000 assignment fee. It's going to take time to hold it. Like, I mean, me and Mitch Pomeroy talked about it for like an hour. Like, hey, I can cross out all these exits no matter what. I can't get the yield I want on that money. So I want a cash flow primarily on Airbnb or a wrap, at least $500 if it's a wrap. If it's on Airbnb, we want a cash flow at least $1,000, like net $1,000 every month. I know that's kind of a little bit more. How to leverage my brokerage as an agent? If none of them focus on investors,
you may want to think about going to another brokerage. Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like this is something that I've kind of gone through as I've involved as an investor, and I see a lot of people that, you know, start out and they have the aspirations to want to invest, but they end up getting licensed and they get sucked into more of the brokerage, the retail side of the business. And it's understandable, because that business model, if I'm a broker or a broker owner, you know, typically I'm going to encourage the agents that work at my office to go do retail business, because that's how I get paid. And I don't have a problem with that. And I think that makes sense. The broker is the one that is carrying a lot of the risk. They have the office space, they have the overhead, they have the liability, all the E&O. So to me, that makes sense. But you've got to put your needs and your family's needs and whatever your goals are as the main priority, in my opinion. So I think the easiest way to fix it is get around a brokerage or get around other agents that have that investor mindset, so you can start building some synergy. Because if you are just a one-man or a one-woman army, I don't know who this person is that made this comment, a lot of times you're going to find yourself in positions where you have a deal, right? And think about how nice it would be if you're in an office or you're in a team or around a bunch of people where there is synergy, and you can go and be like, hey, here's the deal. Here are the numbers. This is what the seller's asking for. and be able to bounce ideas and collaborate with people that can walk you through what that the options are that you can provide for those sellers. So I think you're not forced to be anywhere. So the short answer is, if that environment doesn't suit you, you may want to look for another environment. That's the easy way to do it. And if you really like it, then maybe you need to sit down and you have to be the change, right? So maybe you go down and sit down and talk to your broker and say, hey, I really have the aspirations to want to go invest. I'd love to maybe lead that initiative here in our office, right? Maybe I can start a meeting, or, once a week we'll have like a coffee or something where we either bring other investors in, or maybe we form a small group of the other agents in the office that want to really get into investing, and you guys start doing like a mini mastermind, right? But, not having other people isn't an excuse. You have options there. You just got to either create the synergy there within your own office, or look for, maybe a new home.
I'm more extreme. I think proximity is power. Yeah. Right. And so if that person has a brokerage, because that's how they make their money, and that's like what they can show you how to do. If you want to like actually invest, you need to go to a brokerage or be with a team who's like primarily investing. Right. And I'll give Jason a plug, right? Go underneath Jason's brokerage. You get access to all that stuff. Then you have that proximity of like people doing that. You're around people who are killers, right? That's why I think it's so cool on the real estate agent side. If it's a good team, right? If it's a good team, you're surrounded by the A team, bro. You're going to carry yourself different. You're going to act different. It's going to be a completely different ball game.
I agree. If you're in Fresno too, there's lots of different teams at a lot of different brokerages. Ours is one of them, but it can be anyone. You got to pick who you vibe with and who your alignment with. But there's a lot of people out here that are doing kind of this hybrid agent and investor model very, very well. And I only think that's going to be, I think that's the future, in my opinion. I think the people that are really going to rise to like the top echelon in this business are going to know how to do both, right? Because think about what's happened with the amount of transactions that we have to deal with right now. It's condensed and it's shrunk down. And I think the last time I checked, don't quote me on this number, there's like 300 or 400 active listings in Fresno. Active. Think about that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's 4,000 agents or something. I don't know. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of agents and only hundreds of available properties, right? Like the math will tell you that there's something wrong, and maybe we need to start monetizing opportunities in another way. So I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you already feel that you need to get these investment tools inside your toolbox and not doing something about it. So yeah, happy to help. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, reach out. That was a great one. What's a C-class property? So that is actually a pretty good question if you're new.
Yeah.
So I consider it, we'll go war zone is the very worst. Like it's just a property. You don't want to own it. You can't go pick up rent there. You're going to have constant issues.
Yep.
And then we have D-class, and that's a little bit of a step above that, right? It's in a little bit of a nicer area, but it's still not the best area. C-class, if you are here in Fresno, I would say would you call like south of Shaw to McKinley C-class?
Yeah, I would. That's a good
that's a solid like C-class area. Some of them are like lower C-class. Some of them are actually decent neighborhoods.
Yep.
Then we have B-class, and that's like Shaw forward, right? To where those are some really B-class and A-class areas. And then we have A-class, and that would be like the epitome of A-class here in Fresno would be that stuff off of Willow and Shepherd.
Yeah,
that is
like Herndon, north of Herndon, going north, Copper River, like Custom. I think that's right. The way I like to describe C-class is it's a blue collar neighborhood. That's a good way to put it for me.
Yeah.
So it's a neighborhood where, and I love investing in C-class neighborhoods. I've done very well in those. Those properties are easy to flip. They're easy to wholesale. They're easy to rent. Some of my best tenants that I've ever had are in neighborhoods, those C-class neighborhoods that we're talking about, right? They have, maybe not necessarily pride of ownership, but they take pride in the property themselves. They don't just beat the house to hell and just leave it and don't care less. Like, they want to live in a nice house. They want their family to live in a nice house. They treat it well. I've done very well in those blue collar C-class neighborhoods. So I think that's a great area to invest in.
All right, then we have another guy. We'll give this dude a shout out for just hopping on. JD Moore. I've cut up some YouTube shorts and highlights of your guys' podcast.
Send them.
Cool to send them to check out my work. Yes. Send them over to us.
Yep.
we need to put someone there anyways.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Thanks. Of course. Any other questions, guys? Now, bro, you guys are coming with some heat. I'm like,
yeah, I like. Now we got a little bit momentum now, and now the crowd is throwing some questions our way. I like doing the Q&A, man. I like answering. I like interacting with you guys. We've got a few more minutes, guys, so feel free to drop something in the chat. We'd love to help you out if we can. Really good questions today.
bro? So this is, I think, the number one thing stopping people from being successful in real estate. It is the fear of the phone.
Yeah.
How do we get people to overcome the fear of the phone?
You have to force
I think
it,
about
dude.
this a lot.
Let me tell you, because I'm doing coaching now, and I've got a few new students, and we're working through this right now. And this is how I've done it. I feel like with even before, when I was in management and we were overcoming these things, it's like you just have to, at the beginning, right? Sit down. I'm going to sit down right next to you, or we're going to hop on a Zoom, and you're just going to go. I'm going to see you pick up the phone, and I'm just going to sit here while you do it, dude. You know what I mean? And that's it. Like when I would hire new sales guys, they would have all this hesitation to get on the phone, and you never work out those nerves, in my opinion, until you start making the calls, because then you realize, like, okay, that wasn't so bad. You know what I mean? I didn't drop dead from a heart attack. Seller didn't bite my head off. You know what I mean? They didn't scream at me and all this other crazy stuff, right? So I think they have to realize, like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought. Let me try it again. And then they just keep doing it again. And slowly over time, you start to get it. But I've never met anybody, minus a handful of people, that were just natural whizzes over the phone. Some people, you know, have some skill sets, but the vast majority of them, it's developed over time. And you only get those reps in over a lot of calls, dude. And then that's it, you know?
When I think time blocking, like if you don't have a Jason or a Stratton to sit next to you for that, or a coach, you have to be disciplined and be like, hey, 8 a.m. to noon, nothing else matters.
Very unlikely that's going to happen unless you have an accountability partner, guys. I see it all the time. Like, to sit down and say from 9 to 11, Monday through Friday, if you've never called before in your life, that all of a sudden you're going to be cold calling 10 hours a week, dude, without some type of accountability partner, either a coach, a mentor, or just another person, right? Yeah, somebody else, right? Somebody else that's at your starting point. What you should be doing is hop on Zoom or hop on something, you and that other person, and say, we're hopping on here at 9. We're not getting off the phone until it hits 11. You're staying on and I'm staying on, and that's it. And if you see me get up to leave, call me out on it and tell me, dude, because you need that level of accountability, I think, at the beginning before you can trust yourself enough to do it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go to sit down, and then you're going to be like, okay, let me go to the bathroom. Okay, let me go get some coffee first. Okay, let me text this person. Let me go. Okay, let me do this. And then all of a sudden it's 9:45 and you haven't fucking called anybody yet, dude. You know what I mean? And you've wasted an hour. So just get an accountability partner and start there.
100%. Hey, Jason, I started using your MAL Excel calculator. Do we need to minus the assignment fee from the calculated MAO? Is this
That's a good question. Yeah, so this is the calculator that's available for free on my site, guys. So if you go to my site, it's jasonpritchard.com. Just go there. It's free to sign up. We have all of the resources available free. One of them is this calculator that my team and I use every single day to analyze our deals. So this is what we use in our business right now. And this is a really good question. So for us, if you want to be very, very confident in your number, the short answer is yes. I would say whatever number that MAO spits out, whatever fee you want to make, 5, 10, 20 grand, subtract it from that number. Our model is usually closing on it first. We will always have wholesale as an option, but we're probably, all the deals that we do, 75% of them we're flipping, 25% we assign. You know what I mean? And so there's enough spread in there to still assign the deal without reducing your MAO a little bit. But just to be safe, I'd say you probably want to subtract that on there to give yourself enough room. That was a good question.
As an investor-friendly agent and building out my team, who would I go after first? Title company, lenders, buyers, etc., sellers. The title company you should use is Chicago. Depending on if you actually want to flip, lenders is actually a really, really good thing. But lenders don't come right now. Well, private lenders don't come at the beginning. Yeah, you can go talk to Zinc and they'll be there.
Yep.
And then buyers, I think, are easy. Just post in the Facebook group. And we have a pretty active group, and they're going to fucking hound you.
Yep.
Like, dudes are hungry in there. So we've covered title. We've covered the lender. We've covered buyers. I personally think with your team, it's still just, I feel like a broken record. Talking to more people.
Dude, here's
Banging
the
the
thing.
phones.
This is the puzzle piece that's missing on every one of those partners for your team. Every single one of them needs you to bring a deal to the table in order for there to be any kind of relationship, JD. So if you don't have a deal, you have nobody to talk to at the title company because they can't open escrow, right? You have no lender to give you money because there's no property to secure their money against. You have no buyer that can buy it. So the best problem, in my opinion, that you can have is more deals than you know what to do with, viable ones, actual viable ones, dude.
Yep.
Because if you get a relationship, or if you develop a reputation, especially as a newer investor or a new agent, at somebody that's good at like finding deals, and you're somewhat active on social, dude, people are going to figure that out, dude. Like, you'll start to stand out a little bit. Guys like us will look and see, damn, this guy JD keeps posting deals, right? And people are just going to start coming to you. I swear, dude, that's how it's going to work.
100%,
right?
bro.
So if you can just get great at that, all of these people that you've listed here, you don't even need to go solicit them. Some of them you can, but most of them are going to want to come to you because you've established a reputation as somebody that's active, that's good at finding deals. And that's the biggest piece of the puzzle that most people are trying to figure out. They get so caught up in, let me get a buyer first, let me get the money first, let me find what title company first, all this stuff. And none of those people can help you if you don't have a deal that you're ready to transact.
All right, guys, we got room for one more question. This one is a little bit, every business is different. If you're in Fresno, California, I think just you're primarily going to sell to flippers. Like, there are no like landlord buyers out here.
Yep.
Because they still need to have good margins. If you go in the Facebook group, that that Excel calculator on Jason's page is fucking fire. I've been using that since I got started with Alan.
We use it every single day. I mean, the formula, if you want the formula, is you've got to comp the property out, develop your ARV, then you subtract all of the costs associated with it, right? So we start from the beginning and work our way backward, or we start from the end and work our way back from there. So we start with the ARV, then we subtract commissions and closing costs from the sale, then we subtract what it's going to cost to fix the house, then we subtract the holding costs, the interest that we're paying, our private money lender, property taxes, all that stuff. If there's any acquisitions costs when we buy, then we subtract our profit margin, and then there's your MAO, dude. It's simple math. ARV, everything that is associated with buying, fixing, and selling the property, tack on your profit margin at the end. That number, don't go above that number. If you want the math to be done with you, download that calculator. You just plug in the square footage for the house and your ARV, and it automatically spits all that stuff out for you without having to do any of the work.
Hell yeah. All right, last question. Jesse, for creative finance, which Fresno title company would you all recommend? So whenever I do a creative deal, I use Rochelle, and she picks the title company. But I'd still say Dana Bustamante would be your best bet. I think Dana is the best title rep out here.
She does really well, dude. I'm doing a seller finance wrap right now, and they're doing an all-inclusive deed of trust. I had even talked to Rochelle about it. And then when I touched base with Dana, they were like, no, we got it. Here's the thing. I had my lawyer look at it really quick. He's like, no, this is perfect. This is everything that you need. And there you go. So Dana's team is really good. But I don't even know if before you go out and really get into this, but yeah, I would say maybe want to touch base with some of the escrow officers, because you have to make sure that their title company is good depending on the type of transaction that you're doing. But don't get in the weeds with it, man. You know what I mean? Just run with Chicago. That's who most of the people use out here. And for the most part, you should be good with everything.
And if they're like, hey, we don't want to do this because they say it's FHA or VA, reach out to Rochelle, pay $800 at the end of the transaction, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Last question.
Dude, look at that.
What kind of product does the master of hair use?
Here's the most important question, guys. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos to get this hair looking like this right here, man. A lot of tutorials, my friend. Layrite cement, the absolute best money price. I mean, it's $30. The thing will last me for 6 months. It's perfect. Hair doesn't move. I go to the gym, put the top down on the car, dude. Doesn't matter. This hair will look like this from the second I wake up to
when you sweat though, are you getting like gel in your eyes?
No,
at the gym?
dude, it doesn't. And it's like the mix between like, because I don't like too much shine. Like pomade is like too shiny. This has like the right hold with a matte finish, lay right
With a little
cement.
bit of silver in that.
I wish
bitch.
I had a
Like,
I wish I
bro.
had an affiliate link for them because I've been pushing their hair product for a long time. Lay right cement, my friends.
Hell yeah. All right, let me pull up our closing sheet. Dino is a stickler for this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to submit your deals if you have any. Go to deanrogers.com/podcast. What was your biggest takeaway today, Jason?
I think we should do more of these Q&As, dude. I think if we can get the audience kind of primed and get people rolling a little bit sooner. I love the energy with these Q&As, guys. Hopefully you guys got a lot of good feedback from this, and I think this is one we're constantly trying to figure out how to improve the pod, get you guys more engaged, provide more value to you. I think this is awesome, man. I think we've got to figure that out. That was my big takeaway, dude. I really like engaging with the audience. There's a lot of people here, and that's what we want to do, man. So more of this.
Yeah. More of this. I completely agree. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to go hit like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the podcast app, go give us a 5-star review. And bro, don't forget about our event May 13th.
That's right. Around the corner, guys.
Around the corner. DeanRogers.com/event. Use promo code SALE49 to get 50% off your ticket.
Yep. Put this last comment on there, Strat. That last one. I think this is a good one to end. Listen, for those of you guys that are on there,
bro, 100%.
I wish I had a resource like this when I first started, dude. Like, I wish that, you know, the top investors in my market would just go and be open books where I can go ask them whatever question that they want, dude. So I'd love for you guys to engage. There's no stupid questions. You're not going to look like an idiot. We appreciate whoever posted this thing for saying that, because, you know, you don't know what you don't know at the beginning, guys. You know what I mean? And if you don't ask, you're never going to find out. So this is a great platform. The reason why we do this is to help people that need help at the beginning, man. So join us again for the next one.
And again, guys, reach out if you need anything. Get active in that Facebook group.
Yeah.
Get active in that Facebook group, and a lot of your questions will be answered. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week.